Oh, this is one of my favorite things. We didn't talk about this, Mike. How many people on the internet and around the world think that Post Malone was the one that got a 13-year-old pregnant? Because all they heard was Malone got 13-year-old pregnant once upon a time.
I wanted to ask you about this. I mean, because I thought what was interesting that happened around Karl Malone this weekend is obviously Utah and Utah basketball was celebrating its past, its most glorious time. They bring Karl Malone back, he and John Stockton, fixtures for a decade, made people in Utah love basketball. And Karl Malone's past includes impregnating while in college, either a 12 or a 13-year-old, depending on which report you read, and neglected that child, and then that child became an NFL football player. But the story, I saw a lot of people saying he shouldn't be around anything, and that it would be conspicuous if he weren't there, given what he means to Utah basketball, and you would get people talking about that if he weren't there. But I thought that the punishment on Karl Malone was pretty substantive around that dunk contest, with the number of people learning for the first time, oh, you're gross, and on top of that, getting to start the social media conversation of, hey, why is no one talking about this while everyone is talking about this?
Right. And the percentage of the population who, again, thought that was about Post Malone, not Karl Malone. Post Malone, of course, does not make matters any easier on himself by A, being named Malone, B, being in the part of the All-Star festivities in Utah, of all places, and C, apparently, we learned this, Mike, he lives in Utah. He's got a place in Park City.
You want to talk about Post Malone?
He also looks nothing like Karl Malone, but
the tattoos.
Yeah, there's that. I understand why Karl Malone's an icon in Utah. I drove past several Karl Malone dealerships over there, but kind of feels like the NBA invited this discourse. You could do what you did with Stockton and him be around the festivities, but he was a judge at the slam dunk contest. He had to be honored on the stage alongside Kareem as they honored LeBron James. I guess I get that. There's parts of basketball's history that you can't ignore, but have we tried? Have we tried? I understand it's in Utah, but you invited this dialogue and this discourse in to the point that a lot of people, I think, learned about it with Bomani's on-camera essay. This is one of those secrets that was always kind of whispered, but conventional media never covered it. Times have changed. People are being held accountable.
It was 39 years ago, and he wasn't here to talk about any of it. He says, I'm not here to talk about the backlash, and that was the substance of his comments. But, I mean, your thoughts on the idea that he would be treated as a revered figure, even though many of us are learning. And this was interesting to me, Stugotz, because I thought Greg Cody made me laugh with just how horrific a tweet it was when Jerry Lee Lewis passed. And he said, and he loved Jerry Lee Lewis, and he said, something along the lines as a throwaway sentence. Yes, he married his 13-year-old cousin, but blank, blank, blank. And a lot of people were learning for the first time that Jerry Lee Lewis had married his 13-year-old cousin. Karl Malone, 39 years ago, isn't long enough, Stugotz, for people to forget. Karl Malone went up there as a representative for the NBA, and in doing so, invited a conversation about pedophilia, about taking advantage of children.
Why would that be something that people are going to forget? And why I'm surprised
They had forgotten. A lot of people don't even know it about Karl Malone. What do you mean? A lot of people were learning it for the first time.
A lot of people are learning about it right now.
Because he was invited to be a judge at the dunk contest.
No, I understand, but were people asking him about it at the during the weekend?
And a lot of people learned that Jimmy Kimmel did blackface too. Like at the same time, he's he's not the most public dude. Karl Malone, and there are times where he just reemerges, and the discussion always reemerges, and new people find out about it. I don't necessarily know if we're going to cover any new ground here in talking about it. He doesn't seem like he's going to publicly acknowledge it all that much, and there's not much of a conversation to be had other than, hey, raising awareness about this stuff when you're picking your basketball heroes and you're picking luminaries to have around your festivities. I'm not sure. For me, the interesting discussion is why the NBA chose, because they know this, why they still decided We're going to bury our face, and we're just going to go. We're going to power through all of this.
But do you
it's not
invite?
worth
But
it.
do you invite it? Do you think in those meetings what they're saying to themselves is we invite that kind of scrutiny if we don't invite him? If we're doing this in
also,
Utah,
don't put your All-Star games in Utah.
there
Bang.
are two.
There it is. Hold on. There's the solution that I think we can all agree to. Let's not have the All-Star game in Utah. Let's not have the All-Star game somewhere where you have this dicey kind of tie to history that you have to acknowledge, that you can't ignore, but you also can't just not have them there, because then it makes it very obvious that way. Let's not have the All-Star game somewhere where it's cold, where the hotels are 800 million years old. I was staying in a hotel from the Brady Bunch era. Let's not have
His
a
hotel
All-Star
was
weekend.
wild.
It
was
huge.
He had the Brady Bunch staircase. He 100% did. And the hot tub next to the bed, the hot tub next to the bed is such a weird thing.
This seems to be getting away from the Karl Malone situation. More
Yes.
Amin didn't like his hotel situation.
Well, also perhaps by design.
Let's not
Utah
have the
is from
All-Star
another
weekend
time.
somewhere where
I mean,
last call is 1 a.m.
You're right.
Let's not have the All-Star weekend
Yes.
somewhere where you can't buy a double.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's not do this. Why are we doing this to ourselves?
Every time I was
Freaking
like,
NFL is in LA, Phoenix, and then Vegas next year. And we're like, oh, let's see, can I go Cleveland, Salt Lake City, Indiana? Yeah, please, that'll be fun.
Who is that?
What are we doing? Do we hate money?
it's the NBA
Do we
draft.
hate popularity? Do we just hate ourselves that much that everything we do has to be self-deprecating? Let's celebrate for a freaking second.
What did you think about Mike Malone saying it's the worst basketball game ever played? Let's play that sound for the audience and for Amin.
You know, it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be a part of a great weekend, great players, but that is the worst basketball game ever played.
How do you fix it?
I don't know if you can fix it. You know, I mean, I give Joel Embiid, Kyrie Irving, those guys were like competing. Joel was imploring some of the guys to play harder, to try to get some defense in, but no one got hurt.
And that's not even true.
Giannis got hurt.
Giannis and LeBron got hurt. The two-team captains.
Wait a second. You said that was Mike Malone, or was that Tony? Was that Tap Out Tony?
That was me.
Yeah, sounded like you. Dan, he's right. He's absolutely right, and I'm glad someone in an official capacity said it. It's embarrassing what happened Sunday night, but the most embarrassing part is this. Of the players on the floor, 12 of them were either first-time All-Stars or second-time All-Stars, meaning you don't have the luxury of saying, yawn, boring, All-Star again. Who are you, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, to say maybe if you put some money on it? Who the hell are you? What have you done? What have you accomplished in this league? To be bored by the All-Star game and only with the promise of more money.
In that
will you
fur?
compete?
In that fur? No, but I mean,
The fur's irrelevant.
No,
everyone. No, that's broke. That's broke people mentality on the internet. Oh, he said he needs more money, even though he has plenty. That's not.
No,
the point.
I mean, no. The point that I wanted to make to you is, as we go load management, and these guys are less available, and you can say, "Who the hell are you?" But he's a great player in the age of player empowerment. OKC stinks, but he's a great player. He's at the All-Star game, and when they say, "How do you fix it?" he says, "Give me money. Pay people. Money talks." Like, come on, you know that right there is the punctuation on what's happened with players getting more, getting stronger in that sport. You're going to get some optics like that.
The optics are irrelevant. What's relevant is what I'm holding up to the camera right now, to the video audience, the audio audience. I'm holding up one finger. He is a first-time All-Star. He is a one-time All-Star. He's a great player. I enjoy watching him play. I think OKC doesn't stink, and a big reason of that is because of him. They're in the play-in tournament right now because of him. I have no problems with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as a player or as a person for what I've heard of him. But you cannot, your first time at the rodeo, yawn, how boring is this rodeo? Is there any way I can have more money so I can care about the... No, it's your first time at the All-Star game. And Dan, we cannot confuse player empowerment with player entitlement. Player empowerment, I can play where I want to play. We're fine with that. I can change my situation if I'm not happy with it. I'm fine with that. I can choose who I want to play. Hey, man, if you guys can make it work, make it work. What player empowerment is not is, I don't feel like playing. Can someone give me more money so maybe I'll care? That's not player empowerment. That's player entitlement. That's not part of the deal, because at the end of the day, it is a business, and we are presenting a product. And this thing is part of it. And by the way, for all those first and second time All-Stars who went out there and just laid an egg, who just farted out there and yawned and didn't do anything, next time you get snubbed for the All-Star game, shut the fuck up. I wasn't an All-Star. It's a travesty. What? You gonna bitch about not being an All-Star and then show up and then not do anything? Not put on a show? So yes, I do applaud guys like DeMar DeRozan and Giannis and LeBron and Kyrie Irving, because they take it seriously, because they approach this thing with the reverence that it is. It is an honor. You cry about not wanting and not being there. When you're there, you put on a show. I'm not saying it's got to be Game 7 of the finals, but it can't be what it was Sunday night. That's impossible. And if we continue down this path, it is going to erode the business. Forget about your empowerment and it's going to erode the business that pays the money that allows you to live this wonderful lifestyle.
Amin, though, you mentioned Kyrie Irving as being the professional one in that screed. Kyrie Irving gets to Dallas, as Kevin Durant makes the argument. I don't think these trades are bad for business. I think it's great for business. It pops on social media. People are interested. It's great for business. Kyrie Irving just ends up in Dallas now as a symbol for, no, I'm not going to play all the time. And I'm not going to play when you want me to. And I'm not going to play even though you're giving me a lot of money. And old guy Charles Barkley is saying they sound like steel mill workers out there. They're not willing to work every day, and they're making $60 million a year. It's where we are. I mean, of course that's a clownish byproduct of what's going to happen. A guy from the small market in a fur is going to say, you want the All-Star game to be better? Give me more money. Of course that's what's going to happen.
Dan, what I'm saying to you is we went from a place where players definitely did not have enough of a voice and enough of an influence on control on, their destinies and not enough compensation, big picture wise, for the value they were creating in this league, to it increased to now it's tipped to a point where, pardon me, they're spoiled. It's and not spoiled in just like, oh, you got it good and you're complaining. Spoiled to the point where it is spoiling the product. And I'm not just talking about load management, because again, load management isn't a player-driven thing. That's the biggest misnomer. Load management was an organizational-driven thing. Do you guys remember the first instance, really public?
It's San Antonio, isn't it?
Right.
Yes.
It was San Antonio. It was Greg Popovich telling Tony, Timmy, and Manu, don't even fly to Miami. Just go home. We'll play the game without you. And David Stern levied a huge fine, I believe it was $250,000, and let it be known, we're not doing that. And at the time, I remember this because I was on the jump, and everyone around the mainstream media covering the NBA was saying, wow, look how smart Greg Popovich is. Wow, 10 steps ahead of the game. The Spurs do it again. Oh, it's so smart. Why would I kill my guys on a back-to-back when I can rest them? And I was the lone voice. I would get up on the jump and I said, this is awful. I get it from a basketball standpoint, but from a business standpoint, it's like we all live in the same dorm, and we decided to all order pizza, and we order the pizza. Everyone get your $5 in, and when it came to you, you said, I ain't got it. But I ate pizza for free, and it sounds like a great idea. How do you eat pizza for free? You just say you'll get in on it, and when the pizza comes, you don't put in on it. But what ends up happening is everyone else says, well, what if I do that too? And sooner or later, you get pizza delivered, and no one's got any money to pay for it. And now we ain't got no pizza. And the analogy, if you're too slow and you can't figure out what I'm saying, is we're getting money from the TV stations for national TV, right? We're getting money from sponsors. We're getting money for that because we're expected to present a product of star players playing hard in these games. And when you say, I'm not going to play my stars, but I'm still going to take this money, this national TV money in there, then you're cheating the game. Because if it's just you, it's not a problem. But if 30 teams do it, now we got an issue. And now the pizza delivery people don't want to give you the pizza. The TV people don't want to give you the money because you're not holding up your end of the bargain.
What happened?
It is an organizational-driven thing. It is not a player-driven thing.
I mean, what happened year over year, though? Because the last All-Star game, everyone was celebrating it. The Elam ending made it so that teams were locking down. You had a LeBron fadeaway jumper to win the game, and everyone was applauding the changes that the NBA made. After 1 year, now all of a sudden we have to go back into the lab and change it all over again?
I was also one of the people who thought, well, maybe we fixed it, right? The draft, first of all, we start with the draft and make this idea that guys would, feel a certain way about not getting picked in a certain order or whatever. And then we added the Elam ending in 2020 in Chicago. And I thought, okay, look, again, it doesn't have to be Game 7 in the NBA Finals, but it's competitive now. Okay, we start off a little messing around, and then as the quarters go on, it picks up intensity. And then this year, this happened. And I can't for the life of me understand why, and especially considering, Mike, how many first and second time All-Stars we had. These are the people who are supposed to be hungriest. I remember Ron Artest talking about, I want to get a flagrant foul in the All-Star game, right? Like, he was that excited to be an All-Star. And now you got guys too cool for school telling me I got to pay you more money to play in the thing that you would have complained about if you had not been selected for it?
The impression that I got was the Young Bucks took the lead from the Stars, and everyone was just kind of lashing out that they were in Utah. Honest to God, I think that's what was kind of happening. That, all right, the NBA is going to make us go to Utah. We're not going to put forth an honest effort, and we're not going to do that thing that happens where you compare the level of defense in the fourth quarter to the level of defense in the first quarter, and it convinces you, okay, now we're starting to care, and this can be fun.
I mean, saying get the hell over that. Doesn't matter where the game is. Appreciate that you're there for the first or second time.
Well, the biggest difference year over year, not that they were in a great spot last time, but Cleveland's recent champion and in a good, passionate basketball crowd. That's not to say that Utah wasn't deserving of an effort, because I think that it still was. But to me, it kind of felt like the players were lashing out.
Yeah, but the game has been like the big thing. I mean, the last couple of years, the game has been the big thing because All-Star Saturday has kind of gone away. All-Star Saturday night was actually fairly entertaining, where it was so entertaining for me, I didn't really care about the game the next night. I love the dunk contest. I thought it was fun this year.
I think honestly, I think, Mike, to your point about them playing in Utah, look, I didn't like being there. I didn't want to be there. But guess what? We're there. You're there. And it happens, right? Again, we've had All-Star games in Utah before. We've had All-Star games in Cleveland before. We've had All-Star. It's happened, man. Again, we're not thrilled about it. We got to go to Indianapolis next year. I'm not thrilled about that. But we're there. We have a job to do. Go ahead and do the job, especially when you consider the honor it is to be playing in that game. And then the second part of it is, you want to, again, if it's LeBron and Giannis and DeRozan and Kyrie, and those are the guys who are going on strike or on, go slow or whatever, that's one thing. You got a bunch of dudes who wouldn't even know All-Star if it slapped them in the face. Oh, is this where I go for the? Yeah. If you asking directions and stuff, sorry, you don't get to do that. You don't get to have that approach to this game. You got to go balls to the wall because, first of all, you don't even know if you're ever going to come back. Jrue Holiday, you was gone for a decade between All-Star appearances and an injury replacement, right? Lauri Markkanen and De'Aaron Fox and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. All of these guys, they don't have the right to even slightly go half-ass at this thing. And then the last person, we're going to talk about this dude. We have to mention this dude, Luka Doncic. Maybe he just shouldn't be an All-Star. I get it. He's a great player. He is All-Star worthy. He's All-NBA worthy. He might be MVP worthy. In 4 All-Star games, Luka Doncic has scored 28 points total. 28 points total. He's got 20 assists total. He goes, he dicks around, he has fun. He has no interest in even slightly applying himself to playing basketball out there. And I get it because it's funny. He taps Kyrie on the shoulder this way, and Kyrie turns the wrong way, and we all laugh, and it's Luka. But at some point, someone has to have a conversation with the players, and with him in particular. You have to take this somewhat
this
seriously.
is generational, dude. This is generational. It is.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's generational in the sense that we allow it. We allowed it to get to this point, right? Again, LeBron played hard. LeBron played hard, and I believe had he played in the second half, his team would have played harder. Giannis always plays hard in the All-Star game. 2017 in New Orleans, I remember, Steph Curry was running, and then he laid down on the ground because Giannis was going to go dunk. And I said, dude, that's whack. That's not what we're here for. It's not funny. It's not entertaining. It looks like shoot around before a game starts, right? It's not generational, Dan. It's what we allow. It's not that young kids don't care about the All-Star game. It's that we've allowed it to be, oh, yeah, you guys can do whatever you want, and we're just happy you're here.
This is a record number of impersonations by you during this appearance.
They're all the same, too.
He missed Joel, though. Is that Doc Rivers? Genuine question, though. Do you think some of that is born out of them not even knowing what team they're playing with until right before the game? There's no back channel WhatsApp group of shit talk. There's no real focus headed into the game because you have no idea what color jersey you're wearing. You just stroll on a court and it's just like, okay, it comes across as a game they just threw together because they literally just threw it together.
They also did it on XFL opening weekend. I mean, what are these players going to be interested in?
Yeah.
Hey, how about that speech by The Rock, huh? Mike, this is what I would say to you. Have you ever watched videos? I'm assuming you have never been, but have you ever watched videos of off-season pickup games between NBA players?
Yeah, they're super intense.
Okay, there you go. They didn't know their teams coming in. They split them up right there on the spot. They go at it. There's no money involved. There's no magical spell that says no one's gonna get hurt. There's no endorsements. There's nothing. These are guys who stepped on a basketball floor and decided to play basketball and play hard because they love playing basketball. Ultimately, what this thing can't be is us begging people to do stuff that they're supposed to love to do anyway. I'm sick and tired of begging people to do the dunk contest. I'm sick and tired of begging. We got to watch Thanasis and Alex Antetokounmpo every year in the skills challenge because nobody wants to do the skills challenge, right? We gotta watch Mac McClung. As great as Mac McClung was on Saturday night, we shouldn't have to be waiting for a guy from the G League to come save us.
I mean,
right?
you're complaining about diluted product stuff. Eventually, it's going to affect the business that your stars don't want to do anything.
But Dan, I'm not asking them to do my taxes. I'm not asking them to do things that are outside of the purview of the thing they purportedly love to do. I gotta beg you to play basketball. And we're at that point, like, guys, can we play a little bit? Oh,
I mean, another impersonation. The reason I say it's generational, Amin, is because young people in their young 20s have a different relationship with work than people your age.
Dan, like I don't want to dilute or take away from the immense effort and work and training it takes to be an elite athlete. Of course it's work. But guys, this is the sport they love to play. This isn't like, again, like, man, I got to do this crap again. Like, there are parts of the job that are hard, right? Like, you got to go to these sponsor parties and meet with sponsors and pretend you like them and listen to their corny jokes and take pictures with their kids. Okay, that's part of the job.
Watch them shave each other.
But like nobody, and watch them shave each other, exactly, and have to answer.
It was only one way.
Tearing your Achilles.
I can't believe Amin cares this much about an exhibition game. It's amazing.
No, but Stugotz, I care this much about this thing that we're doing. If that's the case, get rid of it. The NFL got rid of the Pro Bowl. Now all they do is they do skills challenges and they catch water balloons. And you know what? It looked fun as hell because the players were engaged, because they wanted to be there, because they wanted to do it. And if that's what it takes, then get rid of the game. Get rid of the game and let's just do a bunch of fun stuff that the guys like to do. But I'm sorry if I was under the impression that they like playing basketball.
Seven impersonations from Amin, all of them one actual impersonation.
I have an idea, Amin.